And I always love a good story. Stories are probably my favorite way to express really any emotion, and I really enjoy stories about entrepreneurship. But this one is not necessarily a positive one. Well, it ends positive, but we start out in a little bit of a treacherous situation. So, when I first started my company years ago, I was taking on a lot, and I wasn't sleeping and I wasn't eating well. I was drinking a lot of coffee. I think my diet was coffee and cookies pretty much every day, coffee and cookies, which that only goes for so long. And I went into a pitch to a client and I thought it was a done deal. And it just didn't happen. They said no. And the next day I had what I would consider the breakdown. Like the full meltdown. I ended up laying on my bathroom floor for hours with the worst migraine of my life. I was sick, I was stressed, I couldn't get off the floor. And it was a really low point in entrepreneur land. It was low. I really remember laying on that bathroom floor crying, of course, and assuming I would never own a business going forward. I thought it was the end, time to close my doors. But something happened between that bathroom floor and that migraine to the next morning, because I actually had another pitch the next morning. A really big pitch. So when I say pitch, I'm talking about pitching my services to a client. And it was a big pitch, and one I actually thought I would not get at all. But I knew I needed to go the next morning. I had bills to pay, I had rent to pay, payroll, and things that needed my love and attention. So I picked myself up off the floor, wiped my puffy eyes, slapped on some makeup, and went and did the presentation. I actually got the client, which is such a huge turnaround, because I went from losing the client I thought I already had to the lowest of low, bathroom floor, migraine, sick, stressed, thought it was the end, to somehow keeping it together and heading out to that pitch the next morning and actually getting the client. Now, I am convinced there was a higher power involved. Something outside of me moved all those pieces together for me. And I really believe it was the turning point for my passion. I have always known for the longest time I did not fit into a normal employee structure. Corporate structure has not always been a good fit for me. And entrepreneurship had ignited something in me unlike anything I've ever heard before. And I knew it was part of me, but I just was struggling with how to get there. However, that moment, that turn where the passion ignited again, is when everything turned around, and I really dug my heels back in and said, it's time. It's time to make it happen. We're turning things around. I'm going to deal with this. We're going to do it right. And that's been years now, and the passion is still there, and the passion is evolving, and I'm finding bigger purposes and more callings. So the point of that story is, as an entrepreneur, if you are having one of those low days, or maybe one of those weeks, or maybe you're actually laying on your bathroom floor watching this video and can completely relate to that moment, just know if you feel that burning passion desire inside you to be an entrepreneur, to be your own business owner, to be your own boss, do not let the lows deter you from accomplishing those dreams. Keep going, because one little moment will ignite the spark again in that passion, and you will be off and running. And then, like me, you'll get to reflect on those moments when you had a bad day, a bad moment, and you can kind of laugh about it and realize how silly it was and that something really amazing was coming. I am wildly passionate about my business always, but I am really wildly passionate about your business. So I thought it was a good time to share an entrepreneur prayer. It's a prayer I actually wrote for myself to remind myself why I started this and how the universe has my back and how I'm going to keep going. So if you look down in the links in the comments, you'll see a link to download an entrepreneur prayer. Something you can read every morning, every day, anytime you just need a little pick-me-up. Thanks for joining me, and we will see you next week. Thanks.